want to take a second to talk to you about underdogs.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. It has been a long time. It has been a long time. It has been a long time since we have been live. It really has, but we here, man. It's good to be back. We're trying some new things. We got some new things working, but I'm excited, man. The Philadelphia Eagles are 12-1. Obviously, I made a video about it yesterday. What is there to say? What is there to really say about this Eagles team? They've won so many different ways. They've proven so many people different wrong, me being one of them, right? If you want to go even on an individual basis as far as these players. So everything is working the way that the Philadelphia Eagles feel as though it should, and we're hoping that it would. So there's really not much negative to put out right now. You know, Reed Blankenship, they just put out his well, not just put it out, but they said earlier this morning that his MRI came back not too bad, right? It wasn't negative, or it was negative. It wasn't too bad, though. It was just a mild sprain. So it feels like everything is going right for this Eagles team, and it feels like every other team is starting to kind of get exposed. You see other teams going through rough times. Obviously, the Lions beat the Vikings, and it's like, you know, am I really supposed to be afraid of anybody in the NFC? And especially if we're going to be at home for the whole playoff stand. So I don't know. You guys let me know what y'all thinking, man. But let's talk, man. Let's talk. How has everybody been? We have not done a live stream since probably like before Thanksgiving. You know, it's been a couple weeks, so I appreciate everybody that's already, you know, tuned in. What's going on, Drew Johnson? I am sure this time. My bad about that. I'm trying to figure out OBS again. I haven't used OBS in a long time, so I'm trying to figure this whole thing out again. But what's going on, Drew? What's going on, Martin? What's going on, DG? Hey, Joe, 12-1. Yes, Nina. It feels good. It's like, what are you supposed to realistically sit here and say? I know there's going to be some shows you go on, and they're going to be sitting here still complaining about things. And can I nitpick? Are there things I want to see improve? Definitely. But even over these last couple weeks, one thing that we talked about a lot, right, was the special teams. And the special teams has gotten a lot better. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, man. You said the audio's mad low? That's because I usually yell. So let me turn it up a little bit. How is that? Is that better? Let me know if that's better, y'all. Let me know if that's better. Sounds good on my end. But either way, yeah, I mean, look, I feel like, and I did see, I think it was, who was it? DG that said, Miles sprain, answer your prayers. Mine too. At the end of the day, I know that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is going to come back, right? And we're all expecting that. We're excited for that. He had like a pretty sad announcement that, you know, he was not going to be back for the next probably 2 weeks. But in that same breath, next 2 weeks isn't that big of a deal. I can go without Chauncey. I know he wants to be out there, and I commend him for that. But we can go 2 weeks without Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So it's going to suck if we have to go without both of them for the next 2 weeks. I don't think that it's going to be the case. I think that maybe Reed Blankenship misses this game, if that much, or if maybe he's on a limited pitch count, something like that. I do get a little bit nervous about seeing Kayvon Wallace out there in like extended snaps. I think he's all right against the run. I do. I think he wasn't terrible against the run. Like when he was running downhill, it looked like he kind of knew what he was doing. He felt comfortable. In the past, you know, my girl was like, "Oh, who's Kayvon Wallace? Why are you getting so nervous?" And I was like, because you're gonna hear his name like 4 or 5 times. Like you're gonna and you did. You saw him like the first play that I saw him was the out route that he just got. He got fooled, right? He tried to read something inside, and his responsibility was the outside. and he had to try and make up the ground, and the guy ended up almost getting a touchdown, obviously. But at the end of the day, there's too many times that are like that you see him out of position, and I get nervous about that. I definitely get nervous about that. Lori says, I wish I would have got to see the end of the game. Thanks, Fox. I'm glad I'm not the only one. That made no sense. I mean, I'm out here in Florida, but I have YouTube TV, right? So it's like Fox. And I'm sitting here like, why did they change the game? They changed it to the Cowboys game. I was so mad about that. I ended up finding it, but it's like, why pay for this then? Why do I pay? Anyways, it is. Don't nobody want to see that Cowboys game but Cowboys fans. Anyways, like if you're a Cowboys fan, you probably got it. You know what I'm saying? You could just you should be the one streaming. Our game was on, but anyways, don't even get me started. I was so mad. I saw the end of the game. Didn't miss anything. Yeah, when they switched the game, it sucks. What's going on, man? Let me get my girlfriend a moderator. Giants tried. Yeah, Giants. I don't know. That was kind of weird. Giants were kind of weird because you were down by so much. I understand trying to get the touchdown. I get that, just for, moral sake, I guess. But the onside kick, like really, like, what were you going to do? What were you going to do in 20 seconds? The game's over. Why are you trying to, possibly get people hurt? It's over. It's over. Just take your L and walk away. But I don't know. I don't know. That was weird to me. That was really weird to me. He said the vibes this team is giving to us fans is off the charts, and it's an awesome story and feeling. Yeah, I mean, look, this is what we expected, right? This is what I don't want to say expected. We didn't expect 12-1. We didn't expect to be this dominant, maybe, but we expected to be very much improved, and we knew if we improved to a certain extent, this team would be very scary, especially with the weapons we added. So I don't want to sit here and act like, oh, we knew this was going to happen. But it feels good. It definitely feels good. It definitely feels very good. Just give me 1 second, y'all. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But who pays to watch sports? The Giants are weird as F. This team isn't done with it, and they're all business. That was the funny part. I did see a video of Jalen Hurts on the sideline, and Jalen Hurts was basically just sitting there, just me mugging. They were up 21-0. He was just me mugging while AJ Brown and Quez Watkins, which rightfully so, they were excited and they were happy for the game. But man, that's how I like to see my quarterback. Not done yet. He's not done, right? You remember when we had Doug Peterson and the crew and everything like that? They had that mantra going that they're not done yet, right? You can do all this beautiful stuff and all this pretty stuff in the regular season. Maybe we don't lose any more games, right? Maybe we do go ahead and go 16-1 or something like that, and maybe we do make a crazy playoff run. But all that really matters is that ring at the end. I really, truly do feel that. I feel like this team will not be happy unless they get that ring at the end. So that's where I'm at, and I think that's where a lot of people right now, if we lose it, it will suck, and I'm not going to be sitting here like, oh, this is the worst year ever. Obviously, we exceeded a lot of expectations, but at the same time, I think this is one of your better options, better opportunities to go out there and win it. Obviously, you're going to have to give a big bag to Jalen Hurts in this upcoming season. You're going to have to probably repay a lot of these guys on the defensive side if you want to bring them back. So, what if Josh Sweat comes knocking and says, hey, I paid way above my pay grade last year, which he kind of is this year. He's kind of, Josh Sweat is quietly right behind Hassan Reddick with sacks. This defensive line has been ridiculous. It really has. It's been everything that we hope for this year, but this is everything that we expect from the Philadelphia Eagles, especially when you look at how much they actually put into that defensive line. So, it's huge, man. It's huge. Get these likes up. Yes, sir. It's been a while. I have not been on here in a while, DG. So I was not really expecting many people to even come on here, man, because I have not been on here in a while, but I'm going to try and get more consistent. Shout out to my boy Drew, man, with the $5 super chat. He said, what about Josiah Scott at safety? I think he was decent in the preseason. Josiah Scott's an interesting one, man. Josiah Scott's a guy that him and Reed Blankenship, you look at these guys and you look at the guys you have in the offseason and the decisions you have to make, and maybe they make those decisions a little bit easier or make the impact of those decisions maybe a little bit easier. Maybe you're not able to bring a Chauncey Gardner back. Maybe it doesn't work out, but you feel good about a Reed Blankenship. I think you should. I think you should feel good about a Marcus Epps if he's able to, stop hitting people so hard in the end zone. But I think that you feel good about these young safeties that you have and the ability to go out there and get ones because you've shown that. You know what I'm saying? So while I would love to keep, the guys that are ahead of them. I would love to keep Avonte Maddox. I would love to keep, even a James Bradbury. I'd love to keep a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson next year. But having guys like Josiah Scott and having guys like Reed Blankenship, I think opens up possibilities that you don't have to settle anywhere. And that's a beautiful thing. You still have draft picks. Like, there's so many things you can do, but I like them. You know what I mean? They're here for the cheap and they're loyal. So I'm all about that. What's going on, Bill? He says the pressure is now on nothing but the Lombardi Trophy matters. I agree. I agree to a certain extent. I feel like there's nothing else you can do. Like I said, I wouldn't say that it was a waste of a season if we went out there and didn't win it. I think that if you go out there and lose in the first round, maybe we could talk about a wasted season. But I think if you go out there, get some playoff experience for a young team, fight in some games, maybe make it to the playoffs, make it to the Super Bowl. I think that would be a huge step for this team forward. Now, when you get to the Super Bowl, that's a whole season in itself. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to the Super Bowl, if you win that bad boy, then beautiful. If you lose it, then we go back to the drawing board knowing that we are exceeding expectations and we can grow from here. So I do feel that it is all you got left this year to really prove. You really have nothing else to prove. Like, I know a lot of Dallas fans are going to tell you, oh, you got to beat Dak. We really don't. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter who we beat at this point. We are playoff bound. We are, in the driver's seat for the number one seed in the NFC. And I am very, very hard pressed to think that Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott, for that matter, and anybody from this NFC is going to realistically, Geno Smith, realistically going to come into Philly and beat us. I just don't see it. And maybe that's biased. That could be 100% biased, and I'm okay with that. But I just don't see it. I think that they're a very good team. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are a very, very good team. I think it's one of those rare years that 2017 reminds you of it, that you just hit on everything. Everything you did, with the exception of Robert Quinn. Quinn hasn't been, bars. I'm not trying to say here on Ryan, but Quinn has not been what we wanted him to be, obviously. But the totality of everything you've done, right? All the additions that you've made, Sue, Joseph, right? The off-season additions. You look at Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, we talked a lot about. You look at James Bradbury. You look at the draft picks that you brought in. You did everything, and everything hit. Jordan Davis is a big part of this defense, right? Nakobe Dean has shown that he might be something in the future. Some of these undrafted guys, a Reed Blankenship is really showing there. So I feel like you just hit everywhere. This is one of those very rare years. He said, damn, dude, thinks in bars. I kind of like this attitude. What's going on, Mitch? What's going on, brother? I'm skipping over. I'm skipping them. I'm skipping comments by accident. What's good, Joe? 12-1. Yes, sir. True Savage. I really truly feel that the Eagles should probably get a clean sweep when it comes to awards. I think that you look at Nick Sirianni, he's the coach of the year. Excuse me, in my opinion, he's coach of the year. You look at Howie Roseman, he's probably GM of the year, in my opinion. I really do believe that. You look at what he did this offseason, you look at what he did even in this season, and he's pushed all the right buttons. There's nothing you can really say. And then coach of the year, like I said, Nick Sirianni, he's done with those, it's one thing to have weapons. It's one thing to have good players. It's all about how you utilize them. So Nick Sirianni has turned this team, and not just turned this team because we were a playoff team last year under him, but he's turned this team into now a Super Bowl contender team in his second year. I think that needs to be praised, and I think that needs to be recognized. I think that that's incredible, right? And some people said that we were crazy for even signing him as our coach in the first place. So, hey, I think that, you got to give the man his flowers. So I think coach of the year would go to him. GM of the year would go to Howie. MVP should go to Jalen Hurts. Defensive player of the year, would Hassan Reddick have a place in that conversation? I'm not saying he would win it. Would he have a place in that conversation? It would definitely be interesting to see if he would have a place in that conversation. Or even a James Bradbury. What James Bradbury is doing, I know he doesn't have the interception numbers, and that's what people are going to look at, so he's not going to get it. But you look at what he's been able to do as far as just a shutdown corner. I mean, his numbers are incredible throughout the season. So, I mean, he's a guy that I would look at, but obviously they're probably not going to. I kind of like the attitude baseball has with winning divisions and making the playoffs. They pop champagne and say the regular season is important too. I feel you. What's going on, Joey Beans? Let's go. Fly Eagles fly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think we hit our rough patch of the season. Damn, dude. They use Josiah as safety. I could see, Josiah Scott is obviously now getting reps at that cornerback spot with, not now anymore, but with Avonte Maddox down, he was taking over for him. But I was just saying, he gives you a lot of versatility. I wouldn't put Josiah Scott over a guy like Reed Blankenship just yet. I want to see what Reed Blankenship still has. I think that he's an intriguing prospect at the very, very least. So I want to see what we got in that. And then obviously I'm not putting him over Chauncey. It's an interesting conversation if you want to have with Marcus Epps. I like Marcus Epps. How big is Josiah Scott? Like, how tall is Josiah Scott, I guess, is the question I would ask. But I don't really see the upgrade there. So I think it's just a depth guy. I think that he's a very, very high upside, not very, very, but a high upside depth guy. So I'm happy with that. Def got to beat the Saints. Yeah, we have to win them. That's like, I'm almost more, even if we are, even if we're number one because this is the thing. If we win one more game and the Vikings lose one more game, we have the number one seed, if I'm not mistaken, right? I don't think we can lose that number one seed, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, if that's to happen, like if we get to a point where it doesn't matter what happens in that Saints game, I still want to play that game just because I want that pick to be as low as possible. It would be so beautiful. Obviously, you don't want to go out there and put your guys at risk of getting hurt, but that pick would be very nice. Bill says, as much as the Commanders' loss was bad, since then they have become a sleeping giant. They look untouchable right now. They really do. The Eagles look. It's like, how do you beat the? And I asked this to like my Eagles group chat, like my friends. How do you realistically beat the Eagles? Like, what's your game plan going against the Eagles? How do you say, all right, this is how we're going to stop Philadelphia offensively and defensively? Like, I just don't know if there's like a real, what weakness have we shown, right? Like, me personally, this is what I would say. If I was a defensive coordinator, I would say we're going all out. We're going big or we're going home. Like, that's it. We're gonna either make a big play or we're gonna give up a big play, and we're gonna hope that our offense just continuously scores and we just go in a shootout. That's probably the only way you could catch us slipping, is by trying to do too much. But other than that, good luck trying to stop our running game. Good luck trying to stop our passing game when it's on. Like, I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do against a team like that. I really am not. How are you supposed to stop them? I just don't see a way that you're supposed to stop them. So I would love to know, like, how would you, as an opponent, stop the Philadelphia Eagles? Because that's really what it's going to come down to. Bradbury is just a pure professional. Facts. Letting Chicago win would be a win for the Saints pick. LOL. I'm just playing, though. Will be good practice containing a very good mobile quarterback. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we react to a Jalen, or excuse me, what's his name? Justin Fields. I don't know why I blanked on his name real quick. Justin Fields is a guy that I don't think we're going to see anybody like him in the playoffs. So I won't sit here and act like it's good, practice for the playoffs. But it's good to just see how this team will, because I think we have a lot of speed. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the things that kind of gets talked about this defense. We just have good sideline to sideline speed. We cover a lot of ground. So I think it'll be fun to watch. I don't know who you put on him, right? I don't know who's the guy you, maybe spy him with. Like, how are you trying to, maybe you just keep the defensive line at bay a little bit? I wonder how you try to stop that. It'll be interesting. Or maybe you just say, hey, go out there and try to beat us with your legs. Like, maybe that's the game plan. Bears do suck, Leezy. The Bears do suck. That is not a lie. That is not a lie. That is not a lie at all. Oh, you said Jalen's locked in. He's doing what Burrow did last year around this time. Yeah, I mean, it could be scary. It could be very scary. If Jalen Hurts has another level, like this is the thing. We've seen him win with his arm. We've seen him win with his legs, obviously. We've seen him, have bad games and just not make mistakes and keep us afloat, right? We've seen him manage games to a certain extent. We've seen him do a little bit of everything. But it's like, if he has another level, what do we have? What are we realistically working with? Because I can't really sit here and say, oh, he's just a running quarterback, just stop him with his legs. Because he's shown me that he can win the game with his arm. So I don't know. This is a very, very fun game. Lisa says, I like the background chat setup. Your channel getting better. I appreciate it. I have not had a lot of time to get back on here, man. So it's been a wild ride for me. But shout out to Fanfield. If you see it on top of where my head is, you should see it like right there. You see it. Definitely go check that out. Fanfield.io. www.fanfield.io. Go check that out. A lot of good things going on. Good news on Lane Johnson and Reed Blankenship. Neither injury is very serious. Yeah, yesterday I was told that the Lane Johnson wasn't anything serious. So I did in my video say we kind of dodged a bullet there. The Reed Blankenship one was very, very big. That was huge news. I'm hoping at very worst, obviously I'm not hoping for the very worst, but I'm hoping at very worst he only misses this week. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. Titans and Giants both looked out of it. I almost felt bad for them. I don't know what happened to the Titans either. That was crazy. That was kind of wild. That was actually kind of wild. He says, sleep. No, I'm getting texts and stuff. I still got to work. I might be, it ain't what it used to be anymore. It's fun, though. It sucks. It sucks because now we still got to work. You know what I'm saying? We got jobs to do, unfortunately. And I'm reading the chat from here. Because it's too small for me there. I got to get my contacts. I ain't going to cap. I got to get my contacts. Dank says the problem I see for other teams is that they come in with a counter. But what counter? Then when they realize they have no shot at stopping them, they get defeated. Yeah, basically. That's all that can happen. What's going on, Ryan? What's going on, Daniel? Eagles are dictating what the other team does. That's the thing. And I said that in my video. I said I'm going to keep on selfishly plugging my video. But no, I said that the other day, man. It's like, it's not that we just dominated them. It's that we dictated what we wanted to happen. Like you had to play a certain type of way against us if you wanted to get any type of yards. And that was a slow, methodical game. And not many teams can maintain that without one, either making a mistake, or two, just not being able to get the 10 yards. Like 10 yards is a long distance in the NFL. So you know, it's one of those things. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I keep forgetting. I got to, you know, do this. I haven't been live in a while. You know what I'm saying? But definitely hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family, man. I appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? I think we're like 14 away from 4,000. So if you guys could hit that subscribe, if you guys are new, that would mean the world to me. We got 30 people in the chat. We're 14, I think, away from 4,000 subscribers, which is just insane. So we'll get there, man. That's crazy. But what's show enough in the building? That's how I feel home now. Now I feel at home. There's a couple people that I haven't seen in a minute that are in here. Shout out to Dank Burrito. Shout out to Show Enough, Ryan Rowe, Drew Johnson. Like you guys, yeah, DG. A lot of these people have been here from the jump. So Nina was in here. And shout out to the new faces too. You know, shout out to the people we met over the journey. But it's beautiful, man. Like I said, this was kind of random, but it's always so dope when you guys actually come out and show love and you know, chat and just chop it up, man. It's dope. I really do appreciate it. But what's going on? Joker, big Joker, what's going on? Bad News VA says, got to go to work, but came through to say what's good and drop a like. I appreciate you. Let me get you a moderator, bro. Snuck this in on me, almost missed it. Yeah, you know, I have to find time. When I find time, I'm able to do this, man. I haven't been able to go. I was like either going to make a video. I was going to either write another script or make a video, or I was like, let me go live. I was like, so let me go live. Let me see if anybody around, and we'll get it popping. Ray, what's going on? Keep it up, brother. You doing excellent. I appreciate you. Yeah, we have all the real supporters in the chat, man. So I appreciate y'all. I definitely appreciate y'all. Go check out fanfield.io. I'm telling y'all right now. Go check out www.fanfield.io. I work for Michael Vick. That's the logo that's right here. Fanfield. I work for Michael Vick now. We're about to launch a bunch of stuff very, very soon. I interview a bunch of celebrities, a bunch of athletes, and you guys get to ask whatever you want to ask if you're a part of our community. So definitely go check it out. Support me over there as well. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, let's talk some Eagles, man. Let's talk some Eagles. Eagles are doing like when you tell your girl how good she's going to get in bed, then she realizes you weren't playing. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, wait, hold on. So, y'all for real. Yeah, y'all said if we put in this work, if we go out there and fill a couple holes. Yeah, let me not say that because especially with the reference. But if we go out there and we improve a couple of positions, right? Maybe we can say that. This is what happens, man. You know, a little bit of hard work goes a long way, especially in the NFL, man. A lot of hard work goes an even longer way, and we're seeing that, especially with this team. Man, I love this team. You know, something that they kept on saying, Donovan McNabb said it, you know, Vic said it, other people have said it. You know, I've spoken with Dante Hall. Dante Hall, you know, I did an interview with Dante Hall, and he talked about Jalen Hurts. We were just because he knew I was an Eagles fan. And even he said, he was like, I like that kid, man. He's got a good head on his shoulders. And everything you hear from everybody is always that they're so positive about the mentality that Jalen Hurts has. So, you know, I'm excited, man. I think that nowhere but up. What's the latest news on our punter? Sorry if you already covered this. I had to say, oh, no, you're good, Nina. I haven't covered it. I haven't heard anything. So if anybody heard anything, please let me know. But I have not heard anything about him as of right now. The last that I did hear was that he might be out for a couple of weeks. So they might be in the running for another punter. But I feel like that they signed a punter like the day or two before that game. Am I the only one that remembers that? I can't find the post. But I think that they signed a guy like a couple days before, but I heard that Brett Kern, I believe his name, he's a former Tennessee Titan, their former punter. I heard that he was kind of on the short list of names that they would reach out to for punter. So, hey, you know, Jake Elliott did all right. Jake Elliott, I think he had one punt, so I'll take it. Man, Louis Tuggy out here saying they're going to beat us in the playoffs. Shake my head, he delusional, man. And they, you know, give it to him, man. Give it to him. You got to, you know, look, you ain't have much this season. That's where you got to get. Once you realize your season's all but over, you got to get there. You got to get to that delusional phase. Why not? God bless him. 12-1. Let's get it. Y'all be good. Catch y'all later. Yes, sir. Have a good day at work, brother. Have a good day at work. Bring back Dicker the kicker. Yeah, man. I got Dicker on the on my fantasy team. I got him on my fantasy team. That's one of my favorite players now. That's my favorite player now, and he's getting me points, bro. He's getting me points. Dicker the kicker ain't no joke. I don't know if obviously I'm not out there watching the game, so I don't you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's kicking them from behind the back or something. He's not doing anything too crazy, but he's getting me points, man. So I like it. Just read from Tom Pelissaro. He's out indefinitely, still undergoing tests. We needed to add a punter. He said, yeah. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. We should have kept Dicker the kicker, man. We should have kept him. Hey, I will say this, and I've had Aaron Sippis on the show. If you guys don't know, then you know now. We definitely had Aaron Sippis on the show. He was awesome. Aaron Sippis is a funny dude. He's a very, very funny guy. But either way, that was an issue. People were a little bit worried about him last year, going into this year. So, there was talk about him not even coming back this year. This is going to hurt him. I think that the Eagles, I'm almost 95% sure that we signed a guy like to our practice squad, or we brought him in for a workout that was a punter like 2 or 3 days before the game. I could be just bugging out about that. But I feel like the Eagles aren't opposed to getting another punter. So I hope that Aaron Sippis, I'm praying that he recovers quickly, and it's something that he, only gets better at. Only gets better from, I should say. We should sign Destroying. I would love to just. What if we? Are we crazy? I would love to sign Destroying. That would be awesome. Interested to see how he does at safety. I still hope to see Josh Joby at some point, but think he's still hurt. Yeah, I think Josh Joby was getting a lot of special teams. Speaking of special teams, I couldn't even talk. I sound like Sylvester the cat that's stuck in Secretary. But no, speaking of special teams, that kid Christian Ellis, man, that kid is something else, bro. But no, Josh Joby was getting a lot of special teams reps. Zach McPherson is obviously a guy that's, really, really highly looked at with our special teams. He's a guy that might make the Pro Bowl as a special teamers. That's actually how good he's been. But, we'll see what happens with Josh Joby. I think that he's an interesting prospect, especially when you see what happens with, Reed Blankenship. It's like, all right, what the rest of these boys got, right? You see what happens with Nakobe Dean. You see what happens with Reed Blankenship. It's like, all right, what the rest of these boys got? What we been teaching these boys? So I think it's just that we're seeing so many good plays. But right now, we have the fortune of not having to worry about that. So, God bless. I'm excited to see what they're going to be in the time that they need to be it. Malcolm Jenkins at safety. What you think about him back in Philly? Martin, I don't think we need to. I really don't think we need to. I understand what you mean, and I mean, look, if he wants to come back at a very, very cheap rate as just kind of like a depth piece, what I'm saying, be a high-end special teamer for us, I wouldn't be mad at that. But to bring him in here with the thought process of him being a starter or even fighting for a starting job, I don't think that helps anybody. I really don't. So I think that we're okay right now. I think that we're okay until we're not, and I think that there's some contractual stuff we would have to get through with him in the Saints anyway. So I just don't think that's where you need to focus your energy right now. I just don't. I really don't. Hey, look, Malcolm Jenkins is one of my favorites when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. What he brought here after a drought. When I'm telling you, I don't know how old a lot of you guys are or, people are in the chat. We were on a drought. When I tell you, after Brian Dawkins left, it felt like we could not keep a good safety for more than 5 days. Like they were either injured, they were either stashed on our practice squad and went to another team and shined. There was so many different things when it came to the safety position that we just never had any stability. So when we got Malcolm Jenkins here, it was like a decade of just instability at the position. It was a heaven sent to get somebody like him over here, just a good leader on and off the field. Obviously, the play spoke for itself. We got 27 people in the chat. That's not by no coincidence, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I love Malcolm Jenkins, but it's all about being realistic on what they can bring to this team right now. So it depends on what you're asking him to come. If he's coming to be a special teamer, a backup on defense, then I'm with it. But if he's coming here to be a starter, I think that's something to be worried about as an Eagles fan. Dank Burrito, that was a lot of people's problem where I'm from. Do not rule out a man with that much resilience. What did he say? Hold on. He said, couldn't keep him. You can only protect a few players, but not all. Yeah, no, facts. Miles Sanders and A.J. Brown reaching 1K. Bro, like when I saw, shout out to Ryan, when I saw that A.J. Brown and a couple of weeks ago, when I saw that A.J. Brown and Miles Sanders were so close to that 1K club, I'm not going to lie. I started kind of getting a little like, not choked up. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I was crying like a little baby. But I was a little bit like, okay, like this is real. This is like how, this is totally different from how the Philadelphia Eagles have run their team in like history, like ever. Like I don't remember them ever outside of a couple years here and there putting such an emphasis on having so many talented players here, like on both sides of the ball. You look at the offense, we had having two wide receivers that you realistically, and you can fight for Quez Watkins in arguments against most wide receivers in the NFL, in my opinion. Obviously, he's not a top 10, top 15 guy, but he's one of those guys that you can say, listen, your number 2 ain't better than our number 3 type feel, right? So you have 3 guys that are realistic threats. I just can't remember the last time. I can't remember. Smitty Eagle says, been here a few months. Love the content. I appreciate that, Smitty. I appreciate that. I threw you a moderation. We throw everybody a wrench. That's what we do here. I'm going to keep doing that until I can't keep doing that, but we throw everybody a wrench here. Just don't do anything dumb. Don't say anything dumb. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like we all friends. We all family. We all got to have that power, share that power. I can't cap Chip Smelly ruin the Eagle. Chip was tough, man. Chip was a real, and the worst part about it was that sometimes like I kind of agreed with him and that kind of sucked. Like the cynic in me, I guess, was the one that Jeremiah, what's going on? But yeah, I guess the cynic in me was what really, I don't know. Yeah. Screw Chip Kelly, man. I hate that, man. All right, I'm missing a couple comments. So it is what it is. My bad. If I missed your comment, I'm sorry. Just say it again. I'll read it. I promise. Where are we at? Smitty says Jalen Hurts stays over the last 3 games. Starts over the last 3 games. Has showed me he is a true franchise player and can handle everything you throw at him. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I really don't know. I don't know. The pessimist in me is like, can he get even better? Like, how is he supposed to get even better at this point? Like, it's just like mechanics at this point, right? And I get nervous that one cancels out the other. Like, I don't want him to become one of those guys that only sits in the pocket. Like they said on the Fox, which it's funny. My girlfriend was like, why are they disrespecting him like that? Why are they disrespecting Jalen like that? And I'm like, wait, what? What did they say? And she was like, oh, they called him Russell Wilson. They said that Jalen Hurts reminds them of Russell Wilson. And I was like, damn, all right, my girl's smart. But no, I don't want him to become that where he just wants to sit in the pocket. He doesn't want to run because he thinks that he's, the end all be all as a passer. So I don't know. It's a balancing act, obviously, but I hope that he just continues to get better. I think he will. I think he has that mentality. So Jason Taylor from the Oklahoma State is going to be the truth at safety in the league. So who y'all want? What's going on, Legal Side Hustles? Who y'all want? Because it's funny, again, talking about my girl, she asked me this morning who I thought we would draft. I'm thinking defensive line. I don't know what y'all thinking, at least in the first round. Like, what would y'all do with those first 2 picks? Assuming it's going to be a top 5 pick from the Saints, right? And then you have ours that's going to be the number 32. What are you doing with those picks? Jay, what's going on? Jay, I haven't seen you in a grip. Reddick has been outstanding, applying consistent pressure. What up, Joe? I'm chilling. I am chilling. I appreciate you coming through. I really do appreciate you coming through. It's dope seeing all the people I haven't seen in a minute. It's been a minute. Lonely B in the building. Like, it's been a minute. What made Chip so bad was the high expectations. He made it worse by believing his own hype. He was, and I'll always say this, I don't believe he was a bad coach. I think he was a terrible GM. I think that when he was a coach, he has some innovative ideas. I think that he knew to a certain extent what he wanted to do and how to do it. I think that when we gave him all that power, and like you said, when he started kind of smelling himself a little bit, that's when things went off the rail, because he was just thinking he was bigger than players, and you're not. At the end of the day, you're not bigger than players. You know, they are the ones that run this league, like, and it's gonna start getting more and more like that. But you're starting to see that, how they can kind of run where they end up, or wanting to leave a certain place when they want to. Before, you didn't have that, so it's not, you can't be like, oh, you know, you work for me. Like, realistically, they don't have to. There's 31 other teams that would probably take them, especially depending on the size of their stardom, right? First pick got to be D-line or edge. That's what I'm thinking. Either interior guy or an edge guy or an edge rusher. So that's what I'm thinking. I just think like it's. I honestly think that they trade down. I think if they have a top 5 pick, unless they fall in love with like a Will Anderson or something like that, I really don't see them taking anybody. I see them trading down, maybe like to a top 10 situation again, kind of like we did when we had that number 6 pick. So I see us kind of loading up on picks more. Eagles have pick 31 if they win the Super Bowl. That's true. I forgot Miami had to forfeit their pick. That's true. That's very true. So we got 2 picks in the top 31. I love it. D-line with the Saints pick. I can see that. I mean, everybody's saying Will Anderson. There's a lot of other guys that might. There's some guys that I think are going to shoot up boards. I think that a guy that I really like is I hope I'm not saying this right. Kalijah Cansey, I think his name is. I want to say that's his name, from Pittsburgh. He's just a guy that sticks out to me. I haven't done enough like scouting and enough like, I don't even want to say scouting, but I haven't watched enough just yet to say about all these guys how I really, really feel. But I've been getting into the college film that I have and stuff. So we'll see what we feeling. We'll see what we feeling. But I think that there's some guys out there that might definitely jump up boards a lot. I know everybody's in love with Will Anderson right now, and for good reason. Let's go water. What's going on, Jacob? What's going on? What happened to my membership? I do not know. Sometimes YouTube be hating. Like, maybe you changed, something about your billing address or something like that, and it just messes with you. Jalen Carter, a lot of people like him too. Do you think your Eagles are beating Cowboys on Christmas Eve? Yes. I mean, we'll see how it looks. We'll see how the game looks when we get there. But right now, if we had to go play right now, I think we would. Yeah, I do think that we would. I think that we're a better team right now. We got the Bears to worry about. We'll see what happens. And then hopefully we come out of that game 100% healthy again and healthier, right? Because you get a Dallas Goedert back, I believe, either this week or next. So, I mean, hey, I feel like we can beat any team in the NFL right now. I think I said it on a show or a video. Obviously not a show. I haven't done a show in a grip. But I said it on a video, man. I think that the Eagles are the class of the NFL right now. I think we're the best team in the NFL. I don't think that that's, crazy to say that. I haven't seen the Eagles take a step back yet. I haven't seen teams figure them out. I've seen teams try a billion different things to try and stop them, but I haven't seen it work. I've seen Washington, I will give them, and I'm going to say this prior to what I'm going to say because I don't want to be, you're just a hater. The Eagles, the Commanders played a very good game. The Commanders went out there and had a good game plan, and they executed that game plan very well, and I give that to them 100%. But the Philadelphia Eagles went out there and beat themselves down in that game. And I think that it was very obvious. A lot of mistakes on the offense and defensive side. At the end of the day, the Commanders took advantage of that, and that's what you're supposed to do as an NFL team. But that feels like an outlier. So I just feel like the Eagles have gotten better almost every week. I'm very excited to watch that game before my Steelers play. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to rest Lane Johnson due to his injury last night. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think that you got to get to how important is that number 1 seed to you? I think that if you lose one of these next 2 games, it kind of makes the end of the season very important. I'd kind of say, how do you feel, right? Obviously, it's up to him. But if you can kind of muscle it out these next 2 games, let's win these next 2 games. We're at 14 wins, and we don't have to worry about the last couple, right? So then you can rest then. So that's kind of where I'm at, but I understand. If he doesn't, if he doesn't feel like he can go, then he doesn't feel like he can go. So it really comes down to that. I think we will get Goddard warmed up versus Chicago. Yeah, we shouldn't need this team, right? I loved seeing Minshew in the game. I loved seeing Minshew do the little pose, strike the little pose with the homies. So that's what I want to see in this game as well. Dak is averaging more than 1 turnover per game. Dak will not turn the ball over. Will have to not turn the ball over. The Eagles have way more ways to win. I'm really not looking at the Cowboys until they give me a reason to. Like, when they went out there and blew out the Vikings, I was like, okay, they put everything out there. They put an offense and defense out there. But since then, that's really all I got to say. I haven't seen anything special from the Cowboys. Their offense has been putting up a lot of points, and that's cool. And, but I haven't really seen anything that makes me be like, hold up. The Cowboys been so consistent in their winning. Like, you look at us, we've gotten better. Maybe I'm hating. Jay says, hey, Joe, you think BG will be back on a 1-year cheap contract? He says he only wants to play for Philly, and he's earned another year by Mustangs. I agree. I think that I'll answer both parts of that. One, I do think that he deserves another year. I think that he deserves another year with the Eagles, whether it's a cheap contract or something like that, veteran, whatever it may be. I think he deserves it. He played very well this year. I don't feel like he lost a step. I think that last year of injury may have helped him, if anything. So, God works in mysterious ways. So I think that, yes, I would bring him back if I was the GM. Obviously, I'm not. Now, he is 1 year away from tying, I want to say, Chuck Bednarik for the amount of years played for the Eagles. I could be wrong about that. I don't have the exact, I'm pretty sure it's Chuck Bednarik. But I think that if he plays 1 more year, he'll be tied with him in years played for the Eagles. So that might mean something to him. I would be shocked if it didn't mean anything to him. So maybe that's why he wants to come back. I could see that. How do you think the special teams has looked lately? Lonely, this is what we wanted to see. I mean, I think that Britton Covey's a very interesting guy because it's like that we literally have you on this team just for that one thing. And I guess holding field goals. I'm going to give him his flowers. He went out there and he held those field goals, and that is not an easy thing to do. We've seen a lot of people muff those things. We've seen Tony Romo do it, right? Just gonna say that we've seen Tony Romo do it. But anyways, but no. So shout out to him for going out there cold and just being able to do his job. But Britton Covey, I think that's what we need to see is him just getting yards, getting net gains. And Boston Scott, that man, he said, I got to kill the Giants somehow. I know Miles Sanders came out here to eat today. I know Jalen Hurts going to come out here and eat today. But I need to get my yards somehow. So he went crazy. I think it was 117 yards off of 3 kick returns. I think it was like 37-yard return average. I mean, that's pretty good, man. That's what we wanted, right? That's exactly what we want. What's going on, Kev? He says, got that 17 vibe feeling. Let's keep rolling game by game. Exactly. That's all you can do. I just want to get to 14. Once we get to 14, and if the Vikings lose, maybe it's just 13. Realistically, I want to get to a point where we are fully healthy. We could just say, all right, we got her. We're going to put you in for like a half. Jalen Hurts, we're going to put you in for like a half. Just get you, keep you warm, keep you game ready and stuff like that. And then it is what it is. We don't care about these last 3 games. We're going to try and, just soak it out, and it is what it is. That's where I would love to get to. I would love to get there. Just get that number 1 seed because, like I said, I don't see anybody beating the Eagles in Philadelphia. I really, really don't. The Georgia D-line has some studs. I feel like we said that before, right? I feel like we've said that before. But, they definitely do. Eagles haven't been getting turnovers like they have been. They're still scoring a ton of points and not turning it over themselves. That's very true. That's very true. Shows how good this team could be. Very true. Yeah, we need to get a little bit. And I think that you look at the Eagles, you look at the opponents of the Eagles, I should say. You have to look at the mindset. I feel like that once you become an offense going against this defense, it's like I'm going to try and minimize the big plays, minimize the big mistakes. So you kind of put them in those situations, quick throws, way more running. So it's a double-edged sword, I guess, for lack of better terms. If we force Dak to throw, we will force him into turnovers, either sacks or interceptions. I think we're 14 better. I agree. You ain't never lie. I think if the Texans can score, what did they score? They scored almost 30 on them, if I'm not mistaken. What did they put on them? Like 24 or something like that. They put on if they could put that up, we might double what we put up on them first time. That's all I'm saying. If it means something to us, it might get ugly out there. It might get really, really ugly out there. Cav says, like the new setup, bro. I appreciate you. My girl did the we're not done yet. We're still working on the background, like behind me at least, but it's all like actual paint. Like she painted that. It's by hand. Like I don't know how else you would paint it, but she like did that. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy. She was like, "Oh, just get this, that." She got like a bunch of stuff, and then it was like, I don't know how she made it, but I'm pretty sure she does. You know what I'm saying? I'm impressed, so I'm cool with it. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 30 people in the chat, man. I didn't realize how long we've been going. We've been going for almost an hour already. We've been going almost for an hour. Hold on, so we got 30 people in here. How many likes we got? We got 31 likes. All right. I was about to talk junk, but I ain't gonna talk junk. What's my social medias? Everything's at Philly TP. So Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on Philly the podcast, just the same as the YouTube. And we got a website we working on very, very soon. Shout out to my guy that's working on it. I'm excited for that. Philly is first place in takeaways. Dallas points all came from defensive side. They don't score more than 20 on offense. Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and talk about Dakota Rain Prescott too long because I have better things to do. Like, I'd rather like watch paint dry than sit here and talk about a man named Dakota Rain Prescott. I'd rather, if we're being 100% honest, right? I'd rather jump off a moving train than talk about Dakota Rain Prescott. So honestly, I'm not going to. Yes, I agree. The Eagles only got to worry about themselves. That's it. That's all I can say. The Eagles only have to worry about themselves. That's it. Oh, and speaking of Dakota Rain Prescott, I totally blanked on this. I know last week we were trying to do, Best of Enemies on Tuesday at 7:30 with, we were trying to do it Wednesday with Rome and Lord Brunson. So things happened. It is what it is. We all forget things. It is. I think that first, one of them forgot something, then I forgot something. It was literally a whole. It was a funny thing. But anyways, so we're doing it tomorrow. 7:30. Me and James for Best of Enemies. We're gonna have Cowboys fan talk, Mr. Rome and Lord Brunson on the show, and we're gonna talk that talk. It's gonna be fun. It's always fun. We're gonna be honest because I think that the NFL right now is the Eagles, and I really do feel that it's the Eagles and the Cowboys right now. I think that every other team, they especially on the NFC, if we're talking the NFL, we can talk about Buffalo, we can talk about Kansas City, but even then, I think you got to get through the NFC East this year if you want to win a Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what their thought process is, what kind of worries them, what kind of is making them tick on that side, but it's gonna be fun. Best of Enemies is gonna be a lot of fun tomorrow. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be very, very loud. You know what I'm saying? It usually is. But I really I can't say it enough, man. I really do appreciate everybody that is in this chat right now. 40 people in the chat. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family, man. We are 14. Let me check right now real quick, because maybe we have celebrating. I don't think so though. But all right, we are 16. We are 16 away from 4,000. So, if you got a friend of a friend of a friend, definitely share it with them. Tell them to hit that subscribe and join the family, gone, but Dak on that sleep number match. Facts. Put him on that sleep. Yeah, Dak Prescott is not going to escape this defensive line. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. What's going on, KJ? What's going on? But listen, man, like I said, I appreciate everybody that came in here. I know this was very, very last minute. But other than that, man, I am going to get out of here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way out. Maybe I'll get a video out later today. Be sure to be there tomorrow for Best of Enemies at 7:30. But other than that, y'all know what it is. This flag was flying. And we are out here. Peace!
Everywhere. This is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly was flying when you on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like a Sean